Now I want to show some examples of content marketing in a variety of formats. I'm going to talk today and show a few of the ones that I think are the easiest and the most accessible to get started with content marketing, and then maybe one or two advanced ones. All right, so this is Janice. She is a designer, and the idea here is just that it's a simple LinkedIn post with 2 lines and a picture, right? So how easy could it get here? And it's a question post. She says, what are you going to tackle in 2023? And then she shares what her intention is this year is to put herself out there, hold on tight, life is a wild ride, enjoy it. And she's got a couple of comments and a bunch of reactions. And really, I mean, it could be as simple as that. The next one is Bob Lodi, who is a web guy, and he's been doing a lot of polls lately and then turning them into content for his blog. So that's an idea right there. And this poll here is, I would put it in the category of, business oriented. He says, based on some recent experiences, I'm rethinking some of my automated tasks. So it's about his own process. Do you try to automate anything? Is it working well or less well? Please share any great successes or spectacular failure. So what do you want to know about your own process that other people could tell you about their process? Then I want to share a bunch of newsletters, and there's so many different ways to do newsletters. But the simplest way is a LinkedIn newsletter. And this is Justine's LinkedIn newsletter. She's a leadership coach for internal communications professionals. And so I'll just click on it so you can see what it looks like. But this is really one of the simplest things to do. And I like the LinkedIn newsletter as a starter newsletter because the template that they give you is really simple. And you don't have to deal with any email newsletter software. And also it goes directly to the people on LinkedIn who are in your network. They are invited to subscribe. So this is a really good way to get started. And as you can see, lots of images and text, right? It can be short or long, but I really like what Justine is doing there. All right, then going back to Janice, she has a MailChimp newsletter, which she calls Food for Thought, Musings on Design, and Anything That Feeds Us. And this is her January issue. And so she talked about the year of the rabbit. And so she's got, I just want to point out the structure here. She's got a little note at the beginning, and actually beyond the structure, this is a newsletter of curated content, which again, if you're not sure what to write about, then share what you like from what's already out there and then put your own spin on it. So that is her email newsletter. And then she takes a piece of it and posted it on LinkedIn. So you can chop it up and take a piece every week and post it on LinkedIn. So that's what she's done here. And then here's another example of curated content by Sarah Spolstra of Moonshine Design. And she calls hers 5 Things to Share. And again, she's got a little note, a very personal note at the beginning, and then just 5 things with little links. So just another way of doing this that demonstrate what she knows, but also, people just love to share. And this is one way to do it. The other one I wanted to show is Danielle Hughes of More Than Words. And what she did was she attended a retreat that Creatives Roundtable and Nancy Russo and I put on in early January. And she wrote about it. She wrote what she learned, basically, and gave just a little synopsis of each of the things that she learned from each person. And so that's an example of how do you attend an event and then share what you learn at that event and also link to other people and call them out.
There's a discussion going on. There's LinkedIn newsletters, there's email newsletters. There's a lot of options. Can you kind of weigh in on all that stuff?
A LinkedIn newsletter is a good starter newsletter because it makes it very easy to do, especially if you're not a designer. Should you have a LinkedIn newsletter and a regular, what I'm calling a regular email newsletter? Not necessarily. The benefit of having both is that, of course, you don't own the list when it's on LinkedIn. You can see who the people are who are subscribed to your list, but you can't download the list and you don't own that list, essentially. Whereas with your own email newsletter, obviously you do. And so what Ann Handley says in her book, Everybody Writes, is you want to make sure that you own the list eventually, I add eventually, so that you can use your LinkedIn newsletter to drive traffic to and get people to subscribe to your email newsletter so that eventually you can say whatever you want to a group of people that you own. My goal is to make it as easy as possible for you to stay visible to your market. So whatever way that is for you, that's what I want you to do.